This is the Be the Solution podcast, and I'm your host, Maria Quattrone. And today joins me Stacie Koroly. She's a team leader of SKT team, brokered by Exp Realty, a 4 times icon, mainline top producer realtor, Philadelphia Magazine top realtor, and Ethics Award winner seen on Fox Business News. Today I welcome Stacie. Stacie, welcome to the Be the Solution podcast.
Maria, how you doing?
Great. I'm excited to speak with you today, Stacie.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. We got a couple things lined up to talk about, so let's jump right in. One of the things that you mentioned I thought was interesting about the power of being uncomfortable and what that means and what that looks like.
I've been an agent for a long time, more than I can care to remember, 25 years. And most of that time, I just sat on my little island, didn't do anything outside of continuing ed, did not network, did not go to any events, and still one of my biggest regrets as an agent. And when I switched companies, that was like the beginning, the start of something really cool and being uncomfortable. And the one thing that really got me started was this platform, Clubhouse. Did you ever go in there? Did you ever go to Clubhouse?
For 1 second.
Yeah, I can see why you went in for 1 second. I was in there for about a year and a half, and education that I received from there, from being uncomfortable, putting myself on a stage with people like Grant Cardone, Glenn Sanford, Don Hobbs, who worked directly for Jim Rohn for years, and Tony Robbins. And when it first began, I would be the guinea pig, meaning I was on in the audience for Clubhouse. Then I'd go on stage. They'd ask me questions. They'd coach me. And that education, I was uncomfortable. I was called out. The language that I was using, but and no, and I can't, and being corrected, that elevated my life. And being uncomfortable from then on, every day has been like that. So I'm used to it. And I really, I want to challenge everybody to do something like that every day. Not necessarily Clubhouse, but do something that makes you feel uncomfortable. Because if you're not growing, you're dying.
I agree with that statement. If you're not growing, you're dying. So tell me, what did you learn from Clubhouse to just put yourself out there and take conductive criticism?
Yes, which is not easy for me at all. I am defensive by nature. If I don't ask for your feedback, I don't want it. And just to put myself out there, my best friend Lisa Fusco also joined me, and the room would grow a little bit. And then I think there was like 1 million people at one point. There's probably more now, but we were one of the first groups in there, and it was Breakfast of Champions, I think, or it was Get Up and Grow. And Tony Rodriguez had also started that room. He really started it with Don Hobbs. But yeah, it was fun, but it wasn't. And I learned a ton and was able to help other people just by failing in front of people on that platform. And I would do it again in a heartbeat. It was awesome.
So are you still doing that?
No, what happened was I had met my real estate coach, Russ Collio, from there. And we've been working together for about 2 years. And Don Hobbs, I will talk to occasionally. But no, I have not been in that world. But I do listen to podcasts like yours and try and do training every day, either in or out of our business, listening to podcasts like Mel Robbins, or I just subscribed to Masterclass. That was my Christmas present for my husband. Have you ever tried that?
No, but I am familiar with it. Which class are you doing?
So I signed up yesterday and did my first class, and it's on the gut and the microbiome and eating whole foods and stuff. So of course I made like overnight oats last night. We'll see how that goes. But I'm interested in learning for the real estate. Okay, yes, but also just holistically, the whole thing. Martha Stewart, let's go. Steve Martin, anyone that is good in their respective industry. That's who I want to learn from. Richard Branson's on there. Like, I cannot wait. Every day in February, my goal is to watch a master class a day.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So I'm going to go back to Clubhouse for a second. Did it change your business?
It did. So it helped me a couple different ways. It helped my mindset, number one, how I interact with people, the way I talk to myself internally. Instead of putting myself down, I would switch it. And my family would make fun of me. So I would be on this platform, then I'd be on stage and people could raise their hands and talk. And for an hour and a half, and that is dedication. It was 7 to 8:30 in the morning. I would show up, then I would be the DJ. I'd play music in the beginning of the class, at the end of class, but I would be allowed to speak. And I have copybooks of notes. It was awesome. So it did change my business for the better. It told me that there's power in the pause, in taking breaks. Not necessarily and I think you're the same way a little bit, like go, go, go. We are action takers. Like we get stuff done. And this platform, the people on it, taught me that it's also as equally powerful to take a pause and to take a beat. So there was just, and I should write a little booklet or just write all my notes, because I would list the speakers, what they said. We had Sam Silverstein, who wrote 11 books on accountability. Then he sent all of us 11 books that he wrote. He is incredible. Just learning about, and I think John Cheplack had said it, accountability is the highest form of love, and what it means to be truly accountable with someone and yourself. I could go on, but that Clubhouse room helps my life. Number one, I said that education was better than the education that I got at Villanova University after 4 years there. It was incredible. And I still have those notes. I should go back to them and rewrite them, because we had some powerful speakers. I was literally the dumbest, not the dumbest, but in that room, I was a little guppy compared to like Carcharodon and Carcharias, like great whites from the prehistoric era. It was insane. And I got it for free. It was awesome.
Wow. That's pretty inspiring. I'm going to go back to Sam Silverstein. He wrote 11 books on accountability. That's a lot of books on accountability.
It is. And
what did you learn from him?
So, off the top of my head, I can't think. I mean, I think maybe the biggest takeaway was showing up, being a leader. And a leader does not mean necessarily talking at people. It's really the action. It's leading from behind, not like, hey, do this. It's actually doing it and showing it by example, which is something that you do on a daily basis, just even through these podcasts, showing up and interviewing people. But they weren't thick books. Let's just say that. They were like this, but he has worked with the top companies, sports teams, NFL, stuff like that. And he still does. Yeah. Here, hold on. I'm going to do something that's never been done on your podcast. So look, and I kid you not, I had them right on my nightstand. So here's one, the success model, 5 steps to revolutionize your life, the accountability circle. He would teach companies, and sometimes he wouldn't even hire them based on what the president or CEO was looking for. And one was making accountable decisions. So that's 3 out of the 11. But he just talked about what it means to be a leader, people that he learned from, and really the best type of leadership are those that lead by example in front of everybody. They're not afraid to do the little tasks that maybe a secretary or an admin would do. They'll jump in and get it done. But it's common sense, but it's also needed, just like accountability. You know, we all have coaches, or some people have coaches. We all know what to do, right? However, most of the time we don't do it. We need that accountability aspect of it. And Sam has mastered it. And he's a great human being.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I ran to my bedroom. My bedroom's like 30 feet away. Grab the books. Here we go.
There we go. So I know, Stacie, you do a lot of social media. I see you interviewing people. I see you doing a lot of videos. You know, how long have you been doing that? Like, really, has it changed your business? Did you start and you were like excited about doing it, or were you nervous? Or
I love it. And my husband thinks I'm a little bit crazy, but I've always loved it. So after college, I did community theater. I just like expressing myself, being creative, and having a message to give to people. A lot of times I feel like I have the cliff notes, and if I learn something, I want to share it with everybody. I have a big mouth and I'm not afraid to use it. The social media platform is amazing, not only just connecting with family members, people that you went to high school with, but it's also sharing. It's sharing ideas, maybe a favorite book that you read. And in our industry, there's no better tool that I've seen in 25 years for a new agent or an older agent to use. And if used effectively, a new agent that may not have a lot of sales under their belt, but they're really good at social media, can bypass agents that have been in it as long as I've been in it and you've been in it. It's free. If you have content that is valuable, people want that. People are looking for answers. They're looking for information. If you can give that to them in 30 seconds or less, or in a minute or less, and you have a really good message, that resonates with people. And that can help our business. It's helped my business. I interviewed one person, Maria, during COVID, who was with CrossFit, Colleen CrossFit. And she was doing a workout in her house. She was taping it on social media, She was live streaming it on social media. I had gotten 2 listings totaling $1.1 million in real estate from that one video. And it had nothing to do with real estate. I was spotlighting someone else. The people that used me knew both of us and called me as a result. One was a for sale by owner. They didn't like that process very much, and people calling them out of the woodwork and disrupting their day. It just didn't work out for them, like most people. They gave it their shot, and then I wound up listing their house and selling it in 30 days or less. And that was in like 2020, 2021. But social media, yes. And it's he who is in front of the consumer or the agent more is the person that will get the business. Like, we have to run this like we have our own TV show, right?
Absolutely.
That's how I look at it.
So do you have certain topics that you talk about? How do you come up with your content?
That's an awesome question. And I asked Sunit that in Tahoe. And there's a couple different answers. You can go to AI. You could go to Lab Code Agents and see what is a pain point for agents. What are they asking? Like, hey, who do people use for an event platform? Or does anyone use Follow Up Boss? Or what platform should I use for my team? When people are asking questions, they're telling you, this is the content that you want to create. The consumer, same thing. So someone may say, hey, does anyone have an architect or a designer? I want to do an addition for my house. Or I'm thinking about moving to Chester County, Pennsylvania, or Philadelphia. Not who has a good agent, but something else other than what's a great school district. The people will tell you if you look for it. They're going to tell you the content to create, and it's on you, the expert, to create the content. The other thing that I like to do is quarterly reports, and I'll pull that and make a video out of that every quarter. And my next one is I want people to see, is it a good time to buy, regardless of the interest rate, what it would look like in 2 more years if you waited, and basing that off of past numbers. What we've seen historically is, yes, it's going up, and it's going up 10, 20, 30, 40%. So you can either pay a little bit of a higher interest rate now or wait. Interest rates go down. Now you're going to pay more money for the same product and much more money over time. So long story short, sorry, I talked too much. You need to look at social media and see what people are asking for. You have to be the Wikipedia for real estate or whatever industry you're in. People are telling you what they want. You got to give it to them. You got to go to where they are.
That's great. Another one that's pretty good is answerthepublic.com.
Answer the Public. Ooh, can we type that in?
Answer the Public.
All right.
Check that one out.
I will. I'm going to write that in my notes.
A lot of my content comes from my experience in that moment, maybe that day or a couple days ago or something I remembered. So it's interesting because when you know what you're talking about, you don't need the script, right? You don't need to have a teleprompter.
You just hit on something that's true. In the moment, I was coaching an agent in Virginia. He just got his license. And I said, all right, this is what you need to do. You need to educate, inform, focus on a local business. And he said, all right, we were talking about a social media calendar. And as soon as I hung up, I went on ChatGPT, and we have a couple different options, and created a social media calendar in less than 30 seconds. That was a video. I'm like, I had no idea that we could do this. And as time goes on, there's going to be a lot more going on with AI, but I thought that was brilliant. I'm like, oh my God, I got to share this. So in the moment, yes, great point.
In the moment. Because there's topics that are of interest, right? They could be current events, be something, sometimes I talk about sports, especially because I'm a big Eagles fan. So
Same. What
we
did
use,
you think last night? I cannot believe the 49ers won.
I
The
didn't know.
Lions
I
had
didn't
it.
even know they won because I gave up watching.
Oh, once the Eagles lost? Did you
No,
just
we
miss
had it.
it?
No. We had it on, but I wanted to watch something else, and my husband went upstairs, and I stayed downstairs. So
It was good. It made me mad, but it was a good game, and they deserved
yeah,
to
I
win.
was tired of I only could take so much yelling and screaming, with
Yeah.
games all day. So I needed a little bit of peace and quiet
Yeah.
on a Sunday night. I prefer to relax personally.
Yes.
So
Decompress. Get ready.
do you prepare for your week on Sundays?
So I have not been as intentional, but yesterday I was, and it was awesome. And I noticed a huge impact in energy and just a sense of calm coming into the week. So I did my schedule, my Google Calendar schedule. I meal prepped one meal, which I never do. I did overnight oats and watched a master class and did turn off the TV for the sports. And it was great. I knew what I was doing. I didn't have to think about it. I knew what I was eating in the morning. And yeah, so Sundays are only going to get better for me, and also planning out workouts. So yes, I did.
So I started doing planning on Sundays a little while ago, and it really does change your life when
Yeah.
I generally, this didn't happen yesterday because I had some things going on, but generally every week I plan out the meals for the week. I prep a lot of food for the week. But we know what we're having: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We don't eat a lot of breakfasts, so that's easy with that. But usually I have everything laid out. Here's what we're eating. I have this like 4 different things cooked already. So, or somewhat like half cooked this way when I come home because I work late most days. Things are already halfway there, and it takes, less time to prepare in the evening. Plus, I don't have to think about it. The days of what are we eating tonight for dinner are
Yes.
over. We do not do that. It takes away energy from making better, other more important decisions.
So I
So,
now I want to ask you, do you have set, like, on Monday, this is what we're having, and then you don't have to think about it? Like, do you have set
yes,
meals? What is
yes.
it? I want to hear it.
We're having chicken cutlets tonight.
Nice.
And I made the zucchini pasta last night, so we're gonna keep that up because I made a lot of it. I overcooked. I'm not overcooked it. I overestimated what we needed.
Good.
Yeah. So today we had veal cutlet last night, so we're having veal cutlet for lunch with sweet potato.
The chicken cutlet and the veal cutlet, it is quintessential Philadelphia. That's like so Philadelphia. I can't take it.
So
I think
Philadelphia.
chicken cutlet. Yes.
Yeah, you have to go to. You can't even get veal in places. We go to the butcher every Sunday to buy. We went Saturday this week to buy our meat, and then we go to the produce guy. Then we go to the cheese store.
That is awesome.
Yeah, we have a routine, and
Good.
I like routine.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you don't have to think about it. That's the best. I do that with clothes. I know what I'm going to wear. When I first started in real estate, it was always Talbots. And when I started, I was in my late 20s, and I dressed like my mom. Like, I would get compliments from older people and stuff, but I liked it because I didn't have to think. And it is a classic. I will say that Talbots is a classic. I'm not dissing them at all, but just knowing what to wear now, and I love not thinking about that. Love it. Now I have to
Yes,
do that with food.
I wear the same types of clothes all the time. So I don't have to think about that either because who needs to be thinking about what they're going to wear?
I
So
know.
it's about eliminating as many decisions that you
Yeah,
have to that aren't really important decisions so that when you're during your day you have free time in your brain. You have space in your brain to actually make an important decision that you need to make.
I love
So,
it.
That's why I started doing that. But you, in regards to your business, you get a lot of business with your social media.
I do. So I'm sorry we went on that tangent. Yes, I do. And in the beginning, I couldn't quantify it. And I respect the heck out of my husband, and I invested a lot of money into it. So I hired a marketing company. I was paying them $1,500 to $1,800 a month, and they'd create videos for me. They'd post on social media. They started my Instagram account. I had a Twitter account. I think I still have it, but I don't really post on it, nor do I go on it. But they really helped me get that base of people. So did Clubhouse. So I have a little over 3,000 followers. And those two things really help my social media on Instagram and Facebook. But for business wise, yes, I can quantify the business that I get. And you'd be surprised. And I know it happens to you because I'll watch you. I don't always like everything, but I'm watching it. And that's what I want people to take away from is it's not about the likes or the comments. People are watching you whether you know it or not. And when someone stops you at the Wegmans or the supermarket or the library, like people have stopped me, I know I'm doing something right. And I believe in the messages that I present or the value, the content that I give regarding the real estate market or a new business. But yeah, social media is a large part of my business. And I'll never stop doing that. And I'll encourage agents to start. If you don't like videos, don't put yourself in it first. Go through a house tour, add music, figure it out. It's free. I mean, if you think about it, how long have you been in the business, Maria?
Couple days shy of 20 years.
So over the course of 20 years, I'm sure you've bought postcards and I don't know, subscribe
Oh,
to
I've done it all. Don't worry.
the billboards. So don't you think social media is one of the best tools that a new agent has, and is any agent if they're willing to use it?
I think that it's free and you should go with what's free and put yourself out there and let people get to know who you are. People want to know your authentic self. You know, if you are going to use social media as one of your ways to grow your followers, make sure that you're you. I think
Yeah.
that's really important. I think don't try to be somebody else. Um, you know, I don't like when people are standing in front of like Lamborghinis and things like that. I personally
You don't
think
have a Lambo? Maria,
I do
wait a minute.
not, nor will I ever.
I love the TV shows, Sunsets. I don't even watch it. Sunsets of Shaw or all this other stuff, where it's completely unrealistic. The average agent and stuff that agents put out. And I love that you say this because in the beginning, when I became an agent, my husband would say, "Don't do this. You should really do this." And the moment that I let go and I not care what people think or other agents or people in general, and I would show myself, you attract what you attract. And if you're trying to be this person on social media that's going to happy hour all the time and clinking drinks and stuff that's not really genuine or authentic, people can read through that. I don't need to tell you that. I've never thought of you, Maria, and been like, Maria, that girl is so fake. Like, I know what I'm going to get with you, and you make no bones about it. And that's the beauty about you and how you present yourself. And as a result, you will get business that way.
You find your people.
You find
Not everybody's your people. So important to
I'm
be
cool
you
with
because
that.
you don't want to attract your non people.
Right. I love that.
You're not in alignment, and it's sooner or later it'll fall. It's not gonna be good.
Right. People can see through it. Yeah.
They can see through it. So one of the things that's important in our industry, Stacey, and you brought this up earlier, that you didn't do was you weren't taking any additional classes or learning outside of just doing the continuing ed. And so what changed your perspective on that? Was it the Clubhouse?
No, I was at Berkshire, my other company for 18 plus years. And it was me. It was my fault. I didn't want to do it. I didn't see any value in it. And as my business started to grow, I would hit a wall and I'd only be able to sell. I think the best I did a couple of years ago was 36 homes. And I was overwhelmed and I didn't know what to do and I didn't know who to go to. And social media helped me see some agents that were much better than me, and I could see what they were doing. And it was my fault. I'm not blaming, like, it was my fault that I didn't put myself out there. And I think Facebook helped me see that there are agents across the country that know a lot more than you. And if you really want to be the best, you have to set your ego aside. So once I did that, it's now like it's game on. And education is one of my biggest things that I love, that I've added to my business. And that's been a huge difference maker. As a result, I have 3 offices now. I have 100 agents that we all work together. I'm not going to say they're under me. They're not under me. We are all partner agents in 7 different states. And I travel more than I ever have. And I love traveling. So yes, I will use that as an excuse to travel to Lake Tahoe, where I met you, or Vegas, or like just awesome places around the country, Tampa, New Orleans, Chicago, Virginia. So
What
yeah,
conferences are on your radar for this year?
yes. Oh, which ones?
Yes.
Well, I'm always, so I have EXP Con, and that's in October. Okay. I am constantly studying John Cheplack's events in schedule and calendar, and then also FubCon in the fall. And so maybe like 5. If I have 5 trips, I'm good, because there's so much, and I don't need to tell you, condensed information that I'm rewatching our Lake Tahoe trip now. And then I'm going to rewatch the Las Vegas Maverick one. So it's great to go to these events and to network, to meet people that are smarter than you, that you can share ideas with, but you also have to implement. And for me, I have an education background. I love it. I'll take it and I'll watch it again another 5 to 10 times, because I learn something new every time. I'm not one of those people that's like, I want to travel all the time and then not implement anything. So what events are you looking forward to going to?
Probably do 2 this year. I
Okay.
used to do a lot, and I'm in a production mode right now. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no more things to implement. There are many things, but there's no more things that I'm going to be implementing. I'm implementing one more thing, and then that's that. Just because can't spread too thin.
Right.
And there's tons of things that I already need to implement that are not implemented for a variety of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make sure that the 2 places that I go will definitely be impactful. And I also want to travel with my family this year as well. So, and I don't want to be out of the office too much.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
So I think, there's been years where I went to 5. I think you do what's been right for you, your family, and your business during whatever that means, whatever year. Some years they're different than others. And some years you can't do the things that you may want to do because you have other commitments and you have to be here for people. So, whatever works for you.
Yep. Perfectly said. Yes.
And that's the beauty of our industry, right? Of being real estate, is that you can do anything you want to do. You just can't do everything. So you
Right.
can do anything. You just can't do everything. So decide what your anything is and then go all in on that.
I love it.
How are you faring with this, the market that we're in?
It's good. It's odd. I started this year better than I did last year. Last year, to be honest, I don't think I had 1 settlement in January and February. And I felt sick. I was like, what am I going to do? And this year, I've already had 2 settlements. I have listings coming up. I have another settlement on Valentine's Day. So the business is better this year. But for me, and it's not a business plan, I know what I have to do every day. And I'm starting to churn it out. So I'm excited. but it's a constant. And let me ask you this. Do you agree with the statement, it doesn't matter what's going on with the economy, it does not matter who the president is? If you stick to your, like, here are the daily activities that are required in order for you to be successful, that's where it is.
Yeah, it's just in winning the day. Doesn't matter. You make your own economy. I always say, go into the MLS. Tell me how many homes in the Philadelphia metro market sold on the Pensy side last month. Okay, 2,000. Well, how many of those did you not? There's 2,000. There's 500. There's whatever number there is. How many do you want of it next month? So the business is there. You just have to do the activities that are required to get it. Real estate sales is math backwards.
Right.
You want this many deals, you have to make this many contacts, and you have to call them a minimum of 26.9 times.
Yes.
Text, email, touches, 26.9 is the average in FUB to convert, to have a closed transaction. And that doesn't mean, that means that have the closed transaction. That doesn't mean you don't have 50 phone calls with them and 200 emails in between the time of you go under contract, right? So just about contact attempts. So you want to go deeper, not wider in your database.
Yes.
If you have 500 people in there, you make a plan to deal with the 500 people. I have thousands and thousands and thousands. So my problems are different. Too many people to call, not enough.
ISA, independent sales assistant.
Not enough humans
Inside
here.
sales.
Yeah.
I did figure out last year, I figured out with my math that it would take 80 contacts, like 80 phone calls, text, email. That would result in 20 conversations. 4 appointments would equal at least 1 sale. Those numbers are going to be different in 2024. It's going to have to be more than 80 phone calls, emails, texts. So I know that. I'm not worried about it. It's just doing the work, literally, because it is a numbers game. It's math backwards, just like what you said.
So I calculated for Dara and I to hit the numbers that we want to hit this year. She's my listing partner in Berker Record.
She's awesome.
Yes.
I met her. Yeah.
Yes. We have to contact 5,750 people.
Okay.
So
how will you do that? Will you do MailChimp campaign?
No, that doesn't count. You have to call, text, email.
Okay, so call,
and
text,
I do MailChimp. I send MailChimp campaigns out. You get 2 go out a week to agents and 2 go out to consumers.
Perfect. Yep.
And
we're following the same.
We got about 4 videos a week that go out. I do a live video every day on StreamYard every day since June 18th.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah, I go live every single day. Nice. And then I do a minimum of 2 podcasts get launched a week, and I do 3 reels on all social channels every day.
So is this recorded? Because I too would like to post this and then chop it up, send it to a virtual assistant.
Oh, yes, you will receive it.
Thank you.
Before we end our Be the Solution podcast with Stacie today, Stacie, tell me who you have learned the most from in the last year.
Can it be more than one person?
Sure.
So I would say my coach, Russ Collio, has taught me a ton, and I met him on that platform, Clubhouse, like we talked. He picks up the phone, and I may have an issue that's in and outside of real estate. So it would definitely be him. He's been a game changer and has helped me with my finances as well. And then John Cheplack is one of the best mentors and people that I've seen in the real estate realm. So those 2 have been very influential in my life. They've helped my mindset. And more importantly, they've questioned, how do I want to get better outside of work? And that is going to be my game changer for 2024 is my health. That's it. How about you?
One day at a time, one step at a time.
Yes.
How about me? I've learned a lot from a lot of people, and I've learned a lot about myself through myself.
Yeah, that's great.
Think that's been the biggest thing this past year. Was I learned a lot from experiences, negative ones that occurred, and just getting perspective on life, getting perspective on what I want. Yeah. When you go through some really hard times, it makes you stop and think. And, leading with my heart. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned in the last year. Being humble, grateful, being in abundance, being in contribution.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I do the videos every day, whether they're for agents or consumers, just being in contribution, giving it back all away for free.
That's great. That's great. With no expectation.
No expectation.
That's one of the cool things that I've learned in the past year is with leaders like yourself, that the best of the best, that's who they are. And you would think, I thought years ago, like, oh, you have to be a jerk to succeed, and those people will never share anything, and why would I ask? And it's flipped. The script has flipped. I love that. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for coming on Be the Solution today, Stacie.
Thanks for helping me.
I'm excited to get launched, and we'll have you back towards the end of the year.
Awesome.